And we are recording.
Normal, then not normal,
Normal, not normal, no
normal.
nowhere. My brain's been rotted from TikTok.
I actually deleted TikTok. Oh, did you?
Yeah, I deleted it a while ago, then I re-downloaded it.
No, that's me. That's literally me. I deleted it. I haven't been posting anything. Like the last thing I posted was like a movie review or something. But like I watch TikToks, but then I'm like, oh, I can just watch on my laptop or watch like YouTube Shorts. So I delete it. But then I'm like, oh, I want to see what my friends are doing, or like the one or two like influencers I follow. So I get it back. And then I'm like, well, dang it, I'm stuck with it. And then I delete it again. I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok.
Me too. But welcome back to the
welcome to the
podcast.
podcast. Starting off with some gibberish and some TikTok
Some
discussion.
gibberish. I haven't been able to talk straight, I feel like, the past couple of days.
I haven't been able to talk straight for a while, but that's just because I literally been like, just getting into a new groove. Emperor's New Groove.
That's actually what today's episode's about.
No, it's not. Don't lie to them. Don't get their hopes up.
Yeah, I know. It's Bojack season 4. We're taking forever on this, but it's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I feel like by the time we get to the end of Bojack, it's going to be a whole year. Speaking of whole year, we're so close to hitting a year of the podcast.
I know.
I mean,
it's nuts.
Granted, we only post we're almost on 20 videos, which isn't bad. Because if you really think about it, there's 50 weeks in a year. Sometimes, leap year and stuff. There's 50 weeks in a year, so
we've posted more than once a month.
There we go. Every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If you're doing the math, every 3 weeks ish, and then we have some keeping it short videos and stuff. So we're doing pretty consistent. Not trying to give ourselves an excuse for why. And
here's my excuse.
Yeah, you say yours. Because I was gonna take all.
I think our excuse is basically the same thing, just moving and getting settled in a new place.
But we are moved, because the last time we were saying, we're about to go through a move. Now we have moved. You're in your place. We're in your place right now. Which is
actually my place that I pay rent for, which is kind of nuts.
That you pay rent for it.
Yeah, I don't pay rent for this place, but I mean,
it's cool that I pay rent, that I'm an adult, and
I'm an adult, and I do things that are kind of adult-like.
Kind of adult-like, not fully adult-like.
No, not.
Are you
fully
voting? I don't want to jump into politics, but are you voting?
I don't know. I haven't been on the politics scene in years.
Are you gonna try to? But are you gonna do maybe local stuff? I'm trying to do local stuff.
I might do local stuff. I think that'll matter more.
The thing
for me
is, I don't want to get political because I don't, Personally, I'm not big into politics. I don't know anything about it. Mm-hmm. I just know that
I'm gonna look at everybody's policies and be like, "What's the least damaging to everything?"
I also just don't know who's in the running for. I know that I don't even know who's in the running for both sides. I know that Biden's in office, and that's it. I don't know who's the.
I know that he likes ice cream. That's the only thing I know about Biden.
I know that he does some weird high fives sometimes with people.
I think he's a little weird towards kids sometimes, but that's okay. I think he's just got that old man riz where he's like, "Hello, sweet doll," and then everybody's like, "Whoa,
what did you just say to this kid?"
Whoa.
That's funny. We're not gonna be allowed in the White House now.
No, yeah.
Well, and not until
enemy of the state.
Someone new comes in.
Yeah, Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem for president. Duke Nukem 2024.
2024. Yeah.
Let's get that.
I came here to run for the presidency and kick ass, and I'm all out of ass.
Someone just come here to kick.
I just came here to kick. So we're talking about season 4
of Bojack.
I don't know what's an appropriate amount of time of small talk.
Oh, well, I was gonna say my excuse.
Oh yeah, what's your excuse?
I'm just lazy. I'm not trying to put any. I don't the thing is, my dad's always taught me don't make excuses, and I really try to live up to that mentality. But then I get in my head sometimes, and I'm like, well, if I don't say an excuse, but they ask for a reason, and me telling them a reason, an excuse, and so I'm like, just say something. But yeah, no.
I've been lazy too. I'm cool chalking it up to both of those.
Lazy and moving. Yeah,
the move was rough. Actually, it wasn't as bad as our move to Preston.
Yeah,
but it was
just sharing government stuff.
That's whatever. We don't live over there anymore. I don't live anywhere close to that anymore, so they can't find me. Hopefully,
that's fair.
I also technically never rented there. I never signed a lease. But when it comes down to it, it's just been rough getting into a new place, and then also figuring out the area that we're in is a little dangerous. And
this one,
a little bit, yeah. We had some break-ins and stuff down the road.
Well, that's just not. I mean,
we got a security system.
That's just places in general, you know.
Yeah, I think I want to try to start setting up on the like on a meeting, like a Zoom meeting or something.
To do this.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot more just easier.
And also I feel like to give some. I wanted to give some like context into that, where it's like I feel like the moment I want to do it after we finish BoJack. I know that like you want to do it sooner than later. I just feel like I don't want to just jump into BoJack and it's like this episode's more important than this episode. But I think the moment we finish BoJack, so like 2.5 more episodes, or because I think we're doing like
keeping it short over the
finale,
yeah.
but like the first. So we have like 2 more episodes for that. Then we can do Zoom, but then Zoom. We're thinking of doing face cam.
Yeah. I wanna do face cam. I think it'll be cool. Also, just I think the video format will look cool because I want to have our main picture in the background kind of darkened out with 2 lines for our audio and then like 2 neon sign frames for our video. Yeah,
getting back into and also giving just like I guess the YouTube people some more. I mean, not just like that, but like you know we love our Spotify viewers, but also
Spotify does that now. You can watch our videos on it.
I did see that. I follow Josh Hartman, I think his name is. He does Happy Sad Confused. He has a lot of like movie interviews and stuff. He does that. Like you can listen. I mean, I might turn my phone off and just listen to the audio because I like to just listen.
Yeah, I mean, I like having the option though. I listen to Distractable.
Okay.
So they just swapped over. Mark, Bob, and Wade just made it to where they can do face cam. It's pretty cool.
That's cool. But yeah, we just want to try to do something different. I mean, we're getting into year 2 of the podcast and we're just improving stuff. But yeah.
What is our anniversary for the podcast?
From what I remember checking, I'm doing it off of just like
our first upload, right?
First upload, yeah, not like the first picture. Because if we do first picture, technically that would be like.
Because I mean, we recorded and then we sat on that footage for like a week, right? 2 weeks.
If you think about it,
trying to figure out how we wanted to do it.
If it was off the first day, it would be the 20th, so tomorrow in our books tomorrow. Yeah. But if it was based on just like the post, it would be the 27th. So in 8 days.
I think tomorrow's a little cause for celebration.
Yeah, at least just for us. I mean, I feel like we're not.
We definitely do like a little Instagram something or make something for Insta, and then maybe we go get food or something.
Yeah, just maybe like you and me. We just do something really cool because I remember we did something for the 10th video.
I'm so sad that the footage. It's been a while. It's
or
crazy.
The 11th.
Two of our best videos we've ever made
are gone.
The footage was corrupted and gone.
Yeah.
I hate that we had. Oh man, what was it? It was the 3rd episode or something, or
the 3rd episode we had to redo because.
Yeah, but we had a crazy flow going, and it was like actually really good.
We were super consistent. We were doing like one every week.
Yeah.
We were recording. We were in the studio.
Rough. It was rough.
And then we lost. Something happened with the footage. I think
we had to do it on your phone.
It got corrupted, and we had to do it on my phone
because we didn't own mics at the time.
Yeah.
Which this definitely makes it just easier in general for us.
Yeah, it just these mics are props to the people who made these mics. I don't know who you are or what you're doing.
We spent less than $100 on both, right? Mm-hmm. Or not on both.
It was like 90 for both.
Yeah. Oh, I think we got it on a deal, didn't we?
It was like something like that, but
it was
like
pretty good.
90 for both. You already had the stands, so it just sets it all up, and that's just like. Mm-hmm. What it is, but yeah, I mean, I think I'm just grateful for the podcast. Really, I mean, I don't think I say it a lot because we don't get super consistent about it. But that, and then we did throw a big party for number 11, which we did, and that one was video.
We had fun too, just recording it. Which it sucks that was the first video that we were gonna do and it was gone.
I think it's good that they didn't see me with like no hair.
I wish that they did. We'll have to put. Because I want to get a little bit more in depth with our editing for the video ones.
Okay.
Maybe not like crazy in depth or anything because we just kind of do one take rippers.
Yeah.
But like
I do need to cut my hair. It's getting long.
I just want to put a picture of you as Walter White in the thing. I just thought it was so funny that you did that.
I showed some more every time I show that picture. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you look like Walter White." And I go, "That's exactly what it was."
You actually have cancer. Is the one that I hear a lot from people.
That was just me like.
Going through chemo and you didn't tell us. You just were like, I'm fighting this battle alone.
I had the quickest battle with cancer.
The quickest battle with cancer.
It was on my left toe.
Oh, there's a cat outside. Not a cat. But I just thought it was so... It's just such a good picture.
It's funny. I just... The shock in your faces when Brady opened the door and just saw like this tall... bald man.
Well, we thought you were a skinhead at first. We were so scared, actually. No, it was just actually insane that you cut your hair. I've never ever seen somebody do that.
The
and
thing
it was
is
so
that
weird.
I kind of liked it. Not. I probably will never do it like that low.
It was probably easy to maintain, right?
It was, yeah, because I didn't have to do anything about it. It grew out, and it got not like back to normal. It got to its short length by like March. So it was like 3-4 months of just like kind of buzz, and so I didn't have to like wash it like crazy. I just put a little of like shampoo on there.
It is crazy just how much you've bounced back from it with your hair. Like, I mean, you look totally normal now.
Well, I mean, it's almost been a year. We're like 4 months out.
Yeah, there was such a short time where you just didn't have hair because it eventually grew to like
it was
be just like I don't ever really remember you in like a buzz cut phase. It grew pretty quick.
In 2 weeks, it was already getting like the hair follicles back.
Yeah,
because I cut it on the 5th, and then by like the time we like finished school and went on break, it was just already there. Because I have a picture my friends took. I went to a show for one of my rock buddies. Shout out El Chavos. You're welcome. But the picture is like me in like a flannel, and it's just like dark little specks on my head because like it was already growing back, and we had like there was like a party at the end.
That's the guy that you're like, I have to go to his concert because you kept not going. Is that right?
I kept not going to a lot of his concerts, and I was telling him, I was like, listen, I told you I was going to go to a concert before the end of the year, and I was like, I'm going to be back in Memphis.
I'm going to do it.
And so I did that, and I did that a couple times, and he's in college now, but he's good for them, actually. He came back from college for a weekend to play at a fair. Like, they got debut stuff to do it, like, on a big show, and that was just really cool. So, I mean, yeah, it's just good to talk to people and all that. But, I don't want to, like, distract us too much from the episode. I mean, I get this is what the viewers like, just talking and stuff.
You gotta have a little bit of small talk. I mean, we've only had like 12 minutes of small talk.
Yeah, plus we're trying to make this episode
it's a catch-up episode.
A little longer, too.
Yeah.
Episode 4, season 4, sorry, not episode 4, season 4
Episode
Bojack.
4.
I will say, this has been the most polarizing season for me so far. For the very beginning, I was kind of into it from like episodes 1 to 3, and then I kind of got a little out of it until about episode like 7, because I was just kind of like, man, they're really just getting. I mean, I get that everyone has like a theme or what they do in a certain narrative. Like obviously, Mr. Peanut Butter and Todd are gonna be doing shenanigans, and Bojack and Diana are doing certain stuff, and like Princess Carolyn and all that. But I just kind of felt like it was.
Bojack was a little distant this season, wasn't he?
He was distant for a bit. He went away like he normally does. For me, it just felt like they were playing the same beats, and maybe that's kind of like something you have to get used to when a show runs for like long time. That like the characters will just start doing stuff, but then the narrative itself, like the actual push, was good. And then by the end of the series, like the last 4 episodes, I was like, oh, okay, I'm in.
I like the episode 2 in this a lot. But we'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah. I also like the introduction of Hollyhock.
Yeah, Hollyhock is very cool.
I was going to remember her full name for the introduction.
Hollyhock, Mannheim, Guerrero. Oh, like Quack the Third or something.
Like that.
It's something crazy.
Yeah. But she was really cool. And
Hollyhock, Mannheim.
We'll talk about more about like her story and stuff. But she feels like a good introduction. And I had already watched... So, like, before we even started Bojack, I watched a couple episodes, and we said this in an earlier podcast, but I watched, like, the timeline of it. And so it told me about, like, who she was and stuff and how her story plays out. So I know, like, what's going to happen. But I was like, I thought everything was going to get wrapped up in this season. But then I was like, oh, no. She's here.
She's until the end.
She's until the end.
She's a huge thing for Bojack because with her, she ends up changing his worldview a lot and trying to make him more introspective. I actually, the twist that they did for her really did get me. I didn't know.
In this season?
I don't know if it's in this season. I think it's in next, but...
Okay.
I mean, spoilers, obviously.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about the whole season.
We're talking about the whole season.
So if you come in here thinking we're just going to, like, do it very basic...
you should watch the whole show before watching any of these. We could literally say the ending
of the show in season 4 right now, and it's going to be your fault for listening to us.
Yeah, how dare you.
But what's the spoiler?
Don't listen to us. But whenever it's found out that he's actually her brother and not her dad.
Yeah, that's this season.
Yeah, really cool. Just such a cool twist.
I saw that in the timeline, so
and it works.
Spoiled a bit, but it works. It's smart.
Anyways,
also makes sense.
First episode is just about Mr. Peanut Butter running for governor.
Yeah, we don't
I don't really care about the storyline at all. This B plot was
the
rough.
thing is that like, yeah, it's because even in the description it says Bojack's nowhere to be found, and we see him at the end. Like, I don't. That's what I'm saying. Maybe this is what it is. I didn't like this storyline because it felt like it was, for a second, it was like, okay, maybe he's going to be the governor. That's great. And then he learns, and then he doesn't want to be governor.
Yeah.
And then he's helping
it shows
gopher. It's fine, but it's like showing that Mr. Peanut Butter is not. This season they didn't want him to be a character much. Like last season.
I think it's to show how immature he is, because that becomes a huge plot point later.
Oh yeah, because at the very end, I mean, I don't want to again jump into spoilers like that because I want to do it like episode by episode. In like the last episode, him and Diane come home and they're talking about stuff, and he gets her like, I guess we'll do it. She in the very in the last episode, or like one of the last episodes,
this is gonna be a little less structured than the other one. I like just talking about the season low key.
Yeah,
it's easier.
They go in and like they have this whole season. You can kind of like tell, like say it's a good storytelling, and that's always me being like very critical about it. But I think they do
put
their
that
job.
in air quotes, which is crazy that you're putting it in air quotes.
They do their job, and I'm just it's just me being a bit of
a guy wrote this, I guess.
Me just being a little bit like nitpicky about it. So it's not actually them doing anything bad. It was me being like, this whole season, Miss Peanut Butter's doing his own thing, Diane's doing her own thing. That's the point. They're showing you early on.
They're showing you the distance.
They're distance, and then they have these moments where they try to be together, and it's good for a moment. And it's realistic. It's showing you that if you're distant and you come together and it's good for a time, and then you go straight back to being mad at each other or have issues, and then he at the very end he does this big gesture for her, and she says, "I wanted a Belle library," and he's like, "What is that?" Or a Belle room, and it's the Beauty and the Beast. Belle has this gigantic room full of books, and he goes and does it for her, and she's freaked out, and she's like, "This is not what I wanted." Like, this is like, I wanted this in my memory as like a key fantasy like moment, and you made it a reality. I didn't want this. And so she's thankful, but she was also mad.
And Mr. Peanut Butter's like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Well, what do I do?
Right.
How do I make you happy?
And then she just like kind of starts crying, and they basically are like, this is the setup of their divorce.
Yeah, which this is actually that fight that happens there is the third big fight
they have
between them, and then that's also like, I love that they foreshadowed that with Mr. Peanut Butter being like, I feel like we were 3 big fights away from just getting a divorce, and it's just really impressive.
You could also maybe tell that it's good storytelling because you see in this season he also, both of his ex-wives are into play. Yeah, and so you're like 2 ex-wives, and then there's Diane. Oh wait, she's gonna be number 3. Like,
it's also really interesting that his immaturity is what pushes away Diane, because she's matured while being with him, and he has stayed the same old dog. But because of that, he's like, it's put on display that she needs something more, and he is not giving it to her.
That's true. Yeah.
I enjoy the episode where Bojack goes and fixes up his mom's old summer house.
The old Sugarman place. Yeah. Basically, like, Bojack,
he like almost died in this episode.
He did. It's fun. Yeah,
hypothermia.
He just goes back to like it's kind of like a place that his mother grew up in, and it's an old like house under their name, and he comes back and it's in ruins. He tries to fix it up, and he meets like this fly person who happily like fixes it up for him, and then he just like kind of freaks out a bit though. Yeah,
it was cool though, because like on episode 2, the fly dude, he's like that wise old, definitely like they definitely depicted him as like the old black guy who's like wise, in like that story trope. But he's cool. I like that he's not I like that he's not just a trope. Like, he actually does get Bojack through this weird place in his life. The fade in and fade outs towards like painting and stuff, like that transition right there where they take a picture of him and they're in a painting and it cuts out to the house. This has had some of the best set. This is where we start seeing what the last season's gonna feel like.
It's also good to see because this storyline is also kind of centered around his mom as well. Because the opening is like, I mean, it's also Bojack, but it's like Bojack's relationship with family and stuff. But we see more out of probably this season, at least so far, than other seasons. We've seen like flashes here and there of like how his parents are like disrespecting him or like belittling him. But then you see that she also had it pretty bad too.
I would say she had it
No.
worse.
No.
I would say she had it worse.
I don't think she had
Her mom got lobotomized.
That's pretty messed up. I feel like the abuse though isn't as bad, but like,
Well, but she grew up in a time where it's like if you have emotions and you're a female, and if you have too much emotions, bada bing, bada boom, lobotomation.
that's fair.
And her father was like completely non-receptive. She didn't have it worse, but she had it bad in a different type.
She
of
had
way.
she had it as bad as you could get it for that era, maybe.
I would say she had it bad in a completely different way than because Bojack had it really, really bad.
Right.
But he had it bad in an abusive way. She had it bad in an unsupportive way, which was interesting.
Right.
But it's trying to get us to have sympathy for Butterscotch, and I think it works. Just knowing where she came from, and like that even her best, quote unquote, best choice that she made with getting with Bojack's dad, which she did willingly. She went and did that. That was like the worst thing that ever happened to her.
It's kind of cool just to see like the drive for it, like because this whole time Bojack is like kind of being chill about all this, but he's also like I mean, he's like, you know, because Bojack does his Bojack thing. He kind of he blows up and he does all this stuff, and he maybe is like kind to somebody for a bit, but he's still doing like his kind of like he's just
it's me, Bojack. I'm gonna get mad at you just to do it.
Yeah, or like a jerk and all that.
Yeah.
But also but the thing is like he's having a kind of decent relationship. But then the moment that he's like almost settled and has a good thing going, he immediately just comes it to the ground, which we see in this one where he does all this work to like fix up his house, and the moment he fixes it, he pays somebody, or he pays like a construction crew to destroy it, and that kind of messes with the Fly's relationship, because he's like, dude, I literally just did all this stuff for you and you're destroying it. And he's like, well, yeah, because I don't want it. He's like, he like always pushes away the comfort.
It's really interesting. Once he has a place that's like a home, he like immediately destroys it, and that's just something he does, which is crazy. But I just really, really like this episode for the fact of like knowing, like it's Beatrice or Beatrice Butterscotchman, right?
I also think the editing is crazy. Like they like not just in this episode, but in a lot of the episodes. But this one is like the transitions
are nuts.
Are nuts when it comes to like, because sometimes it's Bojack's timeline and then switches Beatrice from just like a couple of frames, or it's like intercut. Like we're like having it on the screen, like kind of speeding through it. But
it's where they sing Beatrice and the Fly Guys sing, but it's two different time periods. Yeah, which is pretty cool. But I like seeing that Beatrice's mom was a really good supporting character in her life. Yeah, and that's what makes what happens to her and her mother so much more tragic.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. Like you saw it, and then she has like a little like issue with her, and then immediately after you get like you just see her lobotomized. You're like, what
she's different. It's and the crazy reason is the reason she got lobotomized is because her brother died in the war.
She had grief.
She was grieving just constantly, and her husband was like, "I'm done with this lobotomation."
Yep, and she's like, "I need you to be chill about it," and it's weird, like. And the thing is that, like, it's so controlled, censored maybe, but not censored. They are telling very mature. I mean, Netflix never shied away from like telling mature content before, but the fact that it's like you're getting all the effects of like how awful it should feel, but you're kind of still like sucked into this like cartoon. Yeah. Like you're not full of, like if this was live action and you saw someone get lobotomized, that couldn't fly.
No, yeah, and it's literally they just draw a scar on her, and it's like, and they like do it through like shadows and stuff. It doesn't show you that she gets lobotomized, kind of, but it does.
Yeah, they talk about it, and
also
stuff.
Todd like is just doing stuff.
Todd's doing Todd's thing. Like
he's doing Todd's stuff.
Last season, we found out that he's asexual, and
he's dealing with that right now.
Yeah, and
he doesn't date the axolotl chick this season, does she? Does he? He does that next season, I think.
Next season, but yeah, Todd. So literally, the next episode is like a Todd episode, it's about, and
Yeah.
that's really cool. Everyone kind of in this season, like,
Hooray, Todd episode.
everyone gets like a Todd episode, or like
Yeah.
everyone gets like an episode for themselves, kind of like. Obviously, you have to. Like, no show is without like a B storyline or a C storyline, but you're always gonna have like an episode that's maybe more centered on a character. And
Yeah.
BoJack's done that every season, where each episode has a character do something of their own, and it's cool. But and this one, it's just like it's fun.
I think the reason that they're doing it in this one is to show the distance between everybody, because it's a TV show.
The end goal of the
and
show is
all of us are like, it's because it's an animated TV show, so it's very easy to be like, these characters only exist on TV whenever they're with each other, and it just does this awesome job of separating everyone from each other, even though they're still in some of the same episodes, but they feel distant, and that makes the next when they come together and stuff, and when everything falls apart and stuff, it makes it all like way more tragic, because you're like, these are real people. They write these characters as real people. They don't write them as like animated cats and stuff.
Yeah, but in this episode, it's just kind of fun, and I mean, it kind of like, the thing is, like, it's also great storytelling, because they do play back at, like, everything they set up just keeps being like kind of brought up. But in this one, Todd's basically just doing his Todd thing, getting someone doing something for somebody. And this one, he's gonna fake marry Courtney Portnoy, or no, she doesn't marry. He goes on dates.
Yeah, they're like a boyfriend-girlfriend.
Like, for the media, and he helps Miss Peanut Butter's campaign and stuff, and being like that. And Princess Carolyn's doing good, but it's just Todd running. Like, in this episode, I think this maybe is my second least favorite episode besides the first one, just because it's like, I love Todd, but can he carry an episode?
Yeah, I mean,
I
enjoy the episode. I enjoy anything.
It's also
with Todd.
not just Todd, because Todd, this is our first episode introducing Hollyhock, so maybe it's like not as bad, but I think it's just like, it's still being about Todd and not them. But Todd does all this stuff, and he meets up, and the whole, like, I think what was funny about this episode is that Todd is just like running around doing stuff, and the fact is, he can't even get the first thing he's supposed to be done, because more stuff stacks up on Todd. Like, Princess Carolyn has him to go on a date. He's running around for Mr. Peanut Butter doing like stuff for his campaign. He has to find a DNA test for Hollyhock, and this is where we find out that they're related. And he's also still not fully cool with Bojack, even though he's getting better with it. But he's kind of just like,
he's trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Hollyhock, Mannheim, Guerrero, Robinson's, Ziegler-Schlatt, Hushung, oh my God, Fonzellarelli, McQuack. That's her full name. God, dude. And they say it quick, too. They're like Mannheim, Guerrero. It's like that's Zilberschlack, right? Like the German last name. Right there.
Hollyhock, Mannheim, Guerrero, Robinson, Zilberschlack, Hassan, Fonzellarelli,
McQuack. Yeah, that's her name.
Yeah. Because the thing they say about it is she's an adopted girl with 8 dads, because they're all in like a polyamorous like relationship or something.
They're pretty cool too. I like seeing all of them. They're like, we're her dads.
I like how they all have different personalities.
Yeah.
Like, there's like the calm one, or the cool one, or the Italian one.
Yeah, motherfucker. I'm gonna beat him up.
So introducing her is cool.
They do dadmocracy, and they speak in a dad language that Hollyhock understands now.
It's cool. I mean, but this episode is just fun. Sometimes you need a breather episode, especially after such a heavy-handed one from Bojack's, like, one by him and his mom and him. So I think that's, again, it's like good storytelling, especially in this, but it still feels episodic. But meeting this new character, like, we were talking more about Todd, but meeting Hollyhock as this, she's also just fun. Like,
she's a good character, yeah.
We see her do absurd stuff in this episode. Like, she literally just roofies or like knocks out
chloroform
Bojack
like twice
just to get his DNA, and he's like, Todd's like, why did you do that? It's like, why to get his DNA? And she's just like, kind of,
I freaked out, I don't know.
Yeah, she's just awkward, and she's kind of like funny, because it's like all these other characters are like, I mean, Todd's not like older, but like all these people are grown ups. At least Hollyhock is like a teen, and maybe I can relate with her more.
It's also cool because she's not really
a bad person.
She's not like Bojack.
She's not
or
trouble.
Beatrice. She's not a horseman. She's this amalgamation of other characters, and she is untouched by like that family.
Bojack's world.
Yeah, And his mom, like even his mom, like his mom isn't untouched by it because that's where he inherited from the damage, the bad.
Even like also maybe his friends too. I'm not saying that Bojack or Diane and Mr. Peanut Butter's relationship is at fault because of Bojack, because it's not. But it when you
but he has put so many wedges
into like people's lives that basically he's like a disease. If Bojack gets in contact with you, there's a chance that you're gonna have at least a part of your life ruined.
And the worst part about it is he like knows he's a disease. He doesn't act like he's not, and he pities himself because he is one, but it like doesn't.
He's a self-pitying disease.
Yeah, he's a disease that wishes he had a virus. He knows the damage
he's doing, but he keeps trying anyways.
Yeah, and like I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I respect him for trying to be better. But man, his low points are so bad. He's like the perfect picture of an abusive relationship.
If I met a guy who was actually like Bojack, I would feel bad for him. Just maybe after watching the show. I mean, I'm gonna feel bad for anybody.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for him for after watching the show. But then I'd also be like, I don't know if I can be friends with you, dude. Like You
couldn't be a Mr. Peanut Butter.
Would I? Am I a Mr. Peanut Butter type?
I think you're Mr. Peanut Butter. Oh, yeah, I think you're a Zelda, not a Zoe.
But I thought the contradictory is that Zoe was actually a Zelda. And Zelda
exactly.
That's funny. But yeah, as this kind of series goes along, I think as the series goes along, there's from these episodes, we've already gotten a good head on our shoulders of like what it's going to be about. No matter what narratively happens, the themes are this: Bojack is trying to help Hollyhock find her family and maybe try to always try to get words. Bojack's trying to help Hollyhock find her family because obviously she's looking for like her mom, and Bojack's trying to maybe use that as verification for himself.
It's kind of cool. He does go the extra mile and goes through this huge list of everybody he's ever slept with.
He's like just trying to be like, again, like Bojack is a bad person. I'll say that like full statement, but he has a good heart. Yeah. And so
I think he's a dumb person who has a good heart.
He tries really hard, and so he puts so much effort into doing, and he says so many good stuff, and he's looking out for it, even in his own Bojack way. Like in several episodes, he does stuff to be overprotective of Hollyhock, and he does all that. And so we just keep seeing Bojack just trying to do good, but ultimately doing bad. Yeah. And then Todd doesn't really have a storyline. Todd's kind of just a central like character. He doesn't need a storyline. Todd
from the beginning of the series to the end of the series, he's always been who he is. And he does mature a bit, but like honestly, Todd is the person who's like, I know who I am and I know where I want to go, even though he doesn't know who he is and he doesn't know where he wants to go.
I feel like he's the comic relief character that doesn't need any natural story arc because
Mr. Peanut Butter does need a story arc. He's got too much serious stuff going on. But Todd's kind of almost disconnected from the cast.
Yeah, Todd's kind of just like outside the main circle as much as of a big player he is, like as he is being a main character of types. You know that he's also just a kind of a go with the flow guy where he doesn't have any crazy like narratives. Like they drop some stuff in there about themes and who he is as a person, but he doesn't need any big 4-episode arc to tell him who he is because he already knew from episode 1. But then Diane and Peanut Butter's relationship is about finding out who they are individually, but they have to show their divide and all that. So that's the storyline there. And then Princess Carolyn's storyline, for me, I think is pretty cool. Probably the weakest of the 3, but it's so cool to see her like with, I think his name is Ralph, who her mouse boyfriend, who like she's like has a kid with or is trying to have a kid with, like her just rise and fall because she's always had that. She's always, the whole thing about Princess Carolyn's storyline,
she gets back on her feet.
Is that she always gets back on her feet, even though she gets knocked not just at the dirt, but like below, like 6 feet underground, because of she's given a great opportunity, and ultimately it's something out of her control that always brings her down, and she like loses faith for a bit, but then she like something out of her control brings her back. That's always what I think what's really great is that like her character is somebody that maybe doesn't have enough respect for themselves or doesn't have enough confidence in themselves, even though as much as she tries to play this character of this big manager to show it, that she ultimately needs somebody else in her life to tell her what to do. And so we see that in episode 4, which is called Commence Fracking, where this one was funny. This one was just fun to me because I never knew what fracking was. I still don't think I know what
Fracking is where you extract natural gas from the ground.
Okay, because I still don't know what fracking is, but
it leaks like crazy.
All the 3 storylines come into place. We have Hollyhock and Bojack, like you were saying, try to find her mom, and him doing like just going through his old list. Mr. Peanut Butter and Diane, kind of like at the start of their like
villain arcs,
or just like because like you see them have a pretty good intimate relationship at the beginning of the episode, and then literally his ex-wife is his campaign manager, so that's already a big divide there.
Yeah,
but he has to go run off and do all this stuff for her, and so she doesn't get to spend a lot of time with him, and she kind of feels useless, or she feels like an outsider in her own home, which it wasn't the first time that his house has been turned into like
a big campaign area,
or just like something in his house, but it is.
And the cool thing is every time that we see his wife or his ex-wife and Diane in the same room, I'm pretty sure most of the time his ex-wife is standing between them, kind of showing that wedge between them, but. It's pretty cool, honestly, and I just enjoy like Hollyhock and Bojack's relationship like becoming better, and then like